Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Halloweentown 2 Kalabar's Revenge. So I finally saw this movie and I couldn't believe how big the cast got. Like they grew, man. Sophie's a little shorter, but she's taller in the third movie. But my God, like Marty and the brother especially, he got just tall and everything. Boy, I could not believe it and stuff. I think about 2 or 3 years passed since the first movie. This one came out in 2001. And actually, this is the one that I remember from the promos I saw that I was telling you in my first review of the first movie. I remember when she took out her broom that was mechanical and stuff, and she went flying through time with the Goblin dude. I remember seeing that and how Disney was heavily promoting it, and talking about their Halloween month and stuff like that. And so that's what I remember when I first, when I first saw it. But that's why I couldn't get into it because of the goblin looking dude. He just looked too silly. I'm like, this is too Disney for me and stuff. Now, I like the first movie. The second one, not so much, but I do like it. I just don't love it. It was kind of slower pace, very slower pace. The threat didn't seem all that big bad. The way they defeated the villain didn't seem all that bit bad. The first one was just more adventurous. This one was more blah, but it started to get a bit darker and stuff. That's why I like, the older they're getting the cast, they have to make it a little bit darker. They can't keep it kiddie and everything, But I just feel like this kind of dropped the ball, missed the mark a little bit in terms of storytelling. The storytelling wasn't as strong as like the first one, nor was like the villain and stuff. And so, but one thing that's cool is that the actress Kimberly J. Brown, the dude who played the villain, they reunited a few years ago on YouTube and they fell in love. And now they're engaged this year. I hope it works out, man. Cause talk about true love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all them years not seeing each other and they finally saw each other and they rekindled. That's true love right there, man. So I hope it works out. And so with this movie now, I had a feeling when it came to the Goblin dude, they were going to change the way his face looked. Because in the first movie, it was stronger prosthetics. And this one is more lighter and look more normal. Since he was more of a major character in this movie and stuff. And so my bad, hit the camera. Not entirely bad. It's just like, I just feel like the first one was more stronger. So basically with this movie is... some things changed. Like, I'm surprised. Like, the mom and the grandma still don't get along. And the mom said at the end of the first movie she was gonna help, teach her kids magic and stuff. Apparently, she ain't been doing that. But she is more accepting of Halloween. She has a Halloween party now. And so everybody's there. The grandma lives there. The grandma's spying on people back home. And so, there's a mysterious dude who shows up who catches the eye of Marty. And they start talking, but she brings him to her bedroom by herself. Disney. And so nothing happens, but he's all like, your room's kind of bland, kind of boring. So she takes him to a more exciting room, her grandma's room. And so it's more magical looking. And I'm surprised she did this. Like, you think she'll be smart enough to expose magic. Well, he ends up using magic and stealing her grandma's magic book. So it's like, okay, there's a mystery going on with him and everything. But what is it? And so we see him leave through a portal outside near the bus stop. And so when I forget what, but the mom and the grandma start arguing again, and so they have to go to the other realm and everything. I forget exactly why. I've only seen this one time, so my memory ain't that great. Like normally, stuff in the past. And so when they go, the bus doesn't show up. So they have another way of getting into the magic world. They create like this portal thing, like this doorway arch. And the doorway arch looks really cool. The CGI looks on look really great. But I'm surprised they didn't do the bus. I guess because the bus was a little bit too sillier and maybe it cost a bit more CGI. And so they went like a different route. And since the cast is getting older, they figured to go like a more mature kind of route. Plus, also, when they do the time travel stuff, they probably had to spend the CGI on that. So while they're there, they realize something. Everybody's gray. The town is gray. The people are gray, and they don't understand why. All the colors been sucked out. Everybody's acting boring and dull and lifeless. Something has happened to this very happy town. So it's a mystery. And so they did some foreshadowing about this, like everything that gets lost in our world and their world ends up at this one dude's house. And so that comes in handy. So they go home to try to reverse this, but they find the goblin dude. He's now back to being human for some reason. And when the people are under this gray spell, they're turning more human and stuff and dressing more human. It's weird. So they don't know what's going on. So they go to her house. Her house is completely gray. She's looking for her other magic book to reverse the spell, but they can't find it. She says she hasn't seen it in decades. So they go to that one troll goblin dude's house to like, get the magic book. They figure if it's lost, it must be there. Well, goblin dude with the red hair has turned back to normal and everything. Not sure how, but he has. And his color's back. When they go to the black dude, troll dude's house, I'm just gonna call him the black dude because I forget his name. He has been grayified and everything. And so then slowly, grandma turns gray. And it's like, oh no, and everything. Because she's the one who's supposed to be like strong and help. So she turns completely gray. They are freaking out. And they can't leave the place. See, what happened was the guy that I told you about earlier, the mysterious guy named Cal, he's the one who's behind all this and he tells her. He is the son of Kalabar from the first movie and he wants his revenge. But it's not just the magic world, it's the human one as well. He sent in like this frog man and he lures the mom, right? And so like at this other dance party, he's going to use a spell to turn people into whatever Halloween costume they're wearing. So if you're a werewolf, you're going to turn into a real werewolf and everything. And so, because he hates humans, he hates the magic world and all this other crap. So Marty has to figure a way to get out the house, but she can't. It's sealed up. There's no magic. He's also controlling them and stuff. Somehow, I don't know how she thought about this. She was thinking about hacking computers, how there's a back door. And somehow she thinks, okay, we had to find a back door through the spell. Time travel. Don't know how she came up with that, but she did. Somehow she knows a time traveling spell. Also, she was able to reverse the gray spell. I forget how, I don't know how, it was very rushed. I hate when they rush that in these movies and stuff. And so she just says the word apart like backwards and stuff. And so like she travels back in time, right? Now she's new to this spell and she goes back 5 minutes. So then she goes back a million something years. Then she goes back to a time before or after. I'm not really sure which one. The one dude, the black dude turned gray. I hit the thing again. But anyway, the one dude, Cal, is like controlling like time and everything, right? And so he's making it so she can't go back to the time she wants to. So I think he sends her back to like the 1300s or something. I don't know what time, but this is the part that's confusing because she uses her counter spell to turn him from gray to normal. But then also, like, when she tells him about the book that they're looking for and how it ended up there, he said he already sold it to Kalabar. So he already has both books. He just didn't want her to have none. So then, like, he shows her his time portal. That's when she breaks out her broom and they go flying through time. I love when they go and flying through the time stream. It's such great CGI. It's great expressions on their face. They're trying to hurry up. So yeah, she must be in the past because way in the past. Because when they're traveling through time, they're all like, we haven't even passed the 1400s yet. So she's way back there. So this is getting kind of confused. I think there's an error in there. Because how does she keep turning him from gray to normal and stuff if this is way back in the past? But also she said that grandma hasn't seen the book in decades. And he's all like, oh, I already sold it. So something's up with the writing on this. So I know I'm remembering it correctly and stuff. But anyway, so they have to hurry up because, you know, they can only enter the portal on Halloween and before it hits midnight. So the kids, Sophie and her brother, they fly to, like, you know, the party to stop the mom because Sophie realized something's weird with this dude in a costume, like who's pretending to be the dad of Cal. And so, because she looked in her book and it's very similar to a frog that tricks people and stuff. And so she convinces her brother and they go there. And I like how Sophie's taking the initiative and like helping out and stuff. And so they're trying to convince the mom, but the mom really doesn't want to believe it until she finally does and turn that dude into a pile of frogs. But it's too late. The dude enacts his spell and everybody's turning into monsters and stuff, especially the mom. And they lose control when they're monsters. The vampire girl is trying to attack the brother after he had asked her on a date earlier and she rejected him. So, when they finally go back in time to the right time, they free the grandma from the spell, but it's too late. She opens the portal and she can't go through because midnight has happened. And so they're all like, look, Cromwells are the most powerful witches there are. Let's combine our magic. So she holds her grandma's hand. She contacts her sister in the real world. Her and her brother hold hands. The brother acts like he don't never have magic, but then all of a sudden, when they need the power from him, all of a sudden he has magic again. They also use the goblin dude magic, and so they're able to now break the barrier and create a portal. So now you can travel back and forth, and it doesn't have to be Halloween and stuff. So they go through and they use their magic and everything, the power of love, and like the power of the charmed ones. Like that's what it reminds me of. And they somehow she does something because like he has like tentacles now, right? And so like he's all like, you can't take the book from me and blah blah, but somehow she's able to overcome it, saying that you are not stronger than me, and somehow she's able to grab the book. It's not really explained how, but she's using her willpower and everything. I guess she's a very powerful witch. And so when she does this, he just disappears and evaporates and everything. And Goblin dude's all like, he'll be back and everything, because, you know, Disney ain't gonna kill nobody, at least no teenage boy. So I don't understand how he's defeated. As soon as you grab the book, he's like defeated. That don't make no kind of sense. They rush that again. I hate when they do that. So now all the people turn normal, and all of a sudden they kind of forgot that they was like monsters, and they saw like magic and all this other stuff. And so like it just like ends on a happy note. But like, how do people not remember not seeing like magic? But in the next movie, people do now know about magic, and they want the people from the monster world to a Halloweentown to, like, you know, go to high school in like the real world. So for me, the first half of the movie was really dull and boring until they went to like the black dude's house and everything started to kick up after that. But I don't like how they rushed the ending again with the fighting and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be magical. I want to see more magic, you know. And this is no excuse coming from Disney Channel, because the first Twitches movie had a lot of magic. I couldn't get through the second Twitches. That was just terrible. Especially the CGI. There was CGI everywhere. They were using green screens for like everything for some reason. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.